So I have no expectation that that bill will ever return in the future.
Manitoba's new premier sworn in, and within hours, he announces a controversial piece of legislation. Bill 64 will not go ahead this fall. Newly appointed Premier Kelvin Goertzen has stepped in for Brian Pallister, who officially resigned Wednesday morning. Goertzen was quick to announce that 5 bills, including the controversial education reform bill, will not be pushed forward this fall. Over the next few weeks, 500 teachers and educators were set to speak against Bill 64, but Goertzen says that won't be necessary.
It will not exist after we're done with this fall sitting. So the 500 presenters won't be scheduled to be presenting on anything because there'll be nothing to present on.
These bills would have passed that second reading way back in March before anyone ever heard of Bill 64 had we not delayed it.
We can never have a leader like Pallister again.
Meanwhile, other reactions poured in throughout the day. MKO Grand Chief Garrison Settee felt Pallister neglected to meet with Indigenous leaders during his time in office, and he felt efforts weren't made to cultivate meaningful relationships among Indigenous groups, setting back reconciliation efforts.
So we hope that the next premier will be able to build those bridges and get us back on track in the spirit of reconciliation, because ultimately that's what we want as Indigenous leaders.
This might be a little quicker than he had wanted to go.
Steve Lambert with the Canadian Press says Pallister had hinted he was not going to run again in 2023. However, Pallister may have departed office before he wanted to. Lambert says the Tories have to gain some ground back after what he called self-inflicted damage over the controversial education bill and how the pandemic has been managed so far. But he says Manitoba will now look at other political parties hoping to win over voters in the next election, those who have not been in charge during a global health crisis.
And there hasn't been a lot of scrutiny about how any of the opposition parties would respond, what they would do differently, and how they would afford to do things differently.
Manitoba has absolutely, without question, had the worst pandemic response of any province.
Liberal leader Dougald Lamont says the province's healthcare system broke during the pandemic and applauds parents, teachers, and students for pushing back on Bill 64, ultimately getting it scrapped. But he says Manitoba's way out of the pandemic is to increase vaccination numbers.
Because no one can actually say exactly when this will be over, but if we can get everybody vaccinated, it'll make a huge difference. And it'll keep hospitals safe, it'll save money, it'll save lives.
In Winnipeg, Mark Neufeld, City News.